2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining in practice. Bowlers, please hold up. Practice is over. Just as a reminder, flash photography is not permitted during tournament competition. Brunswick, we are ready to begin. Bowlers, at the sound of the bell, you may begin. Good luck and winner.
All right. Good morning and welcome back to Bowl TV, live from the 2015 USBC Open Championships. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Matt Cannizzaro as we get ready for the 9 a.m. doubles and singles event here, featuring 4 USBC Hall of Famers, highlighted by recent inductee Liz Johnson. We have a very talented group here. Joining Liz for doubles and singles includes fellow Hall of Famers Jeannie Nacarado, Robin Romeo, and Carol Norman, along with Donna Connors and Carlos Gonzalez. So there's our lineup today here from the El Paso Convention Center. Good morning, Matt, and welcome.
Hello, sir. It is our very first 9 a.m. live stream on the new schedule and of the 2015 event here in El Paso. Amazing that we've made it 110 days without seeing the morning squad, but here we are, brand new schedule, no bad times. Not too early, not too late. And a great opportunity to showcase some of the best women bowlers in history. Trying to take down this challenging lane condition here for doubles and singles in El Paso. Liz Johnson getting ready for the upcoming Pan Am Games in Toronto. She'll have that later in July. She always seems to be at the top of her game, coming off a win at the 2015 USBC Queens. We'll have all the details about that and her stellar career, along with some stats about the other folks here as we get settled in for 6 games. 3 games of doubles, followed by 3 games of singles here on lanes 33 and 34 at the El Paso Convention Center.
These bowlers kicked off their 2015 event last night with team competition. They're actually right next to the all-lefty pair featuring Mike and Mark Scroggins that we were live streaming just last night. So we're giving updates throughout, but just a quick rundown of how everyone did on the 38-foot pattern used for team event. Stormin Norman Pro Shop featured 5 of these competitors. They finished with a 27.85, led by Carol Norman's 6.19. She was joined by Liz Johnson, a 5.69. Donna Connors, a 5.44. Robin Romeo, 5.33. And Jeannie Nacarado, 5.20. Carlos Gonzalez was on their crossing team, the Washington Generals, who finished just a tad under the par mark of 3,000, 29.75, with a nice 10.81 in the finale. Carlos contributed 4.98 to that effort. Today he gets to team up with Donna Connors as all these folks on the squad looking to run down the 14.09, leading regular doubles put up by a few other folks from Texas. The two-handed sensation Anthony Simonson, just a kid, along with Mark Sleeper Jr., Kaufman, Texas. There's been some close calls in doubles, but so far only one other 1400 2015 event. I'm sure those guys are eagerly awaiting the end of the tournament, July 12th. Great shot there by Carol Norman. Put on a consistent effort yesterday with games of 208, 212, and 199 to get to that 619. All right, stepping up on lane 33, Jeannie Nacarado. She's teamed up with Robin Romeo last year at the 2014 USBC Women's Championships. They put on a show of their own, including a perfect game from Nacarado on their way to the Diamond Doubles title, putting up the 4th highest double score in tournament history of 14.79. To outdistance the field, Nacarado, a USBC and a PWBA Hall of Famer, captured 10 professional titles, including 3 in her 1986 campaign on her way to be named Player of the Year. She also earned some fame after rolling at 40 consecutive strikes at the Women's Central States Tournament. She finished her doubles event with 7 strikes before firing games of 300, 300, and 264 for a then record set of 864. The new ladies mark 879. Robin Romeo stepping up on lane 33, a 17-time PWBA champion and the winner of back-to-back USBC Senior Queens. Delivers a great shot there in her 4th frame. It took Robin more than 30 years to capture her first Queens title between the regular Queens and Senior Queens, and she liked it so much she decided, I'll have another. Capturing the title with wins over fellow Hall of Famer Tish Johnson in 2014 and 2015. And of course, Liz Johnson, back in May, captured the USBC Queens at the Schwabenon Bowling Alley in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Taking care of Erin McCarthy in the finals. That was her 2nd Queens title, capturing her first in 2009.
How about that, Mr. Smith doing his homework? It was all the details. Pretty cool experience up there in Schwabenon. Watching a very emotional Robin Romeo capture her 2nd consecutive Senior Queens title, taking down Tish Johnson, who has been the runner-up the last 3 years. And Robin, of course, excited and emotional for her own win, but also cried a few tears for Tish, knowing that her good friend, longtime fellow competitor and Hall of Famer, really just wanted to be able to break through. Tish has been in contention for as long as she's been a senior player and has been unable to get there despite being the top seed a couple times already. And so some mixed emotions, but a lot of excitement there. And then, of course, later that night, Liz Johnson taking home the regular Queens title with an exciting couple of matches. And women's bowling is back, Mr. Smith. I think that's the coolest part, that Queens Week kicked off the new PWBA Tour. And for players like Nacarado and Romeo, of course, they made their livings out there. They made names for themselves, found their way into the Hall of Fame with dozens of titles, and they understood what it was all about, to travel the country bowling for a living. And then Liz Johnson really was just getting going. She came on board in the late 1990s, and then by 2003 she was far from done, but the PWBA closed its doors, and it kind of changed the path for players like Johnson. Some went off to find other careers in other places in the world doing different things. Liz decided to chase the dream still as a member of the Professional Bowlers Association. Became the first woman to make a PBA telecast. She's got a couple PBA regional titles now, and she waited it out. She traveled the world, bowled in every event she could, against the men, against women, wherever. And now, a dozen years later, she's the veteran out there on the PWBA Tour and will be leading the way. She certainly proved that she still has the fire when she took down the rookie Erin McCarthy at the Queens. A lot of bright futures out there, some great young players. Never thought they would have that chance, and now they are professional bowlers getting ready to get on the tour. It'll start again the weekend of July 9th in Sacramento, and it'll be a coast-to-coast PWBA summer swing, so to speak, and they'll wrap things up at the US Open in New Jersey, and then the top 16 players from the year will advance to the PWBA Players Championship, whatever they're calling that. It's going to be an exciting time for women's bowling this summer.
Certainly so, Matt, and we can already see that by the numbers. The stop in Sacramento already sold out. They actually opened up a few more spots, so the field was limited to 64. They opened it up to 80, and we mentioned it a little bit yesterday and see it also on Twitter today. More and more bowlers making sure they have a spot for this comeback tour, and we saw Missy Parkin and Shannon O'Keefe tweet that out, that they've already taken care of their full schedule and entered for every event. Jackie Carbonetto joining them as well. So a lot of excitement, and I know it's one of the things we talked about before on here, but I still think it was pretty cool that going back to that Queens show, we had Aaron McCarthy, Liz Culkin, and Maria Jose Rodriguez kind of as the fresh faces of the new PWBA tour coming out, making the show. We had Shannon Pluhowski on the show, the talented left-hander and 2006 Queens champion, who was one of those ladies who just kind of fell into the wrong time frame. By the time she was coming out of college, the PWBA had gone away, and she still had the major events, and she certainly has done well in those. And then Liz Johnson, as you said, was just beginning to take off. I believe already had 14 career PWBA titles when the tour ceased in 2003, and it's kind of cool that she was the one to bridge the gap to the next generation. Today these bowlers are competing on a 39-foot pattern for doubles and singles. A foot longer, and I believe just a little bit more volume as well here at the 2015 Open Championships. Fresh oil for every squad, along with two different yet challenging lane patterns as Donna Connors trips the two. So definitely a brand new day here, a new challenge. Yesterday may not have gone exactly as they would have hoped. But we'll see if they can turn that around and put together a nice showing in doubles and singles. Nice shot there by Carlos Gonzalez out of Pearland, Texas. 4 of his last 5 strikes.
We appreciate everybody stopping by. We know it's prime time. It's lunchtime on the East Coast right now, so hopefully grabbing a sandwich and checking in with some of the best ladies that have ever taken the lanes. And our friend Warren Crawford checking in as well, just on the road after competing here in El Paso. So anything we can do to make the trip a little bit more enjoyable. Hopefully Liz Johnson can put on a show for you. Say Liz Johnson still looking for that breakthrough performance here at the Open Championships. She's bowled well and posted some good scores, but has yet to make that Open career-defining performance.
Mr. Canizaro, our favorite boss ever, Terrence Bigham, is checking in, and he just wanted me to let you know that the last tournament of the year is the PWBA Tour Championships presented by GoBowling.com. They'll be on September 10th through the 13th Matt Cannizzaro making his way out of the booth for a little bit. He's going to be on the Let's Go Bowling radio show taking place in Florida. So be sure to check them out online. Matt's on there every Wednesday morning. So he's going to be stepping out of the booth for a few minutes. So when he gets back, we'll be sure to bother him about that. Make it 5 in a row for Robin Romeo. Another nice shot by Gonzalez on lane 34. Nacarado looking for her second strike here in game number 1. After leaving a few ring 10 pins. That one runs a little bit high and still leaves the 10. Ringing 10 for her doubles partner, Romeo. Robin's making her 9th appearance here at the Open Championships. With a career average of nearly 202 on the tournament lanes. Nacarado just her 5th. Norman bouncing back nicely after a few opens in the middle of game 1. 3 in a row to set up the 10th frame. All right, spares for both Connors and Gonzalez to kick off the 10th here. They could be looking at matching 193s to kick off their doubles event. $193 for Carlos, $191 for Donna. So they'll be at $384 after the opener. And back-to-back 10 pins for Robin Romeo. After that 5-bagger in the middle of the game. Just enough of the 5-pin for Nakarado to stay clean here in game number 1. Definitely showed off her spare shooting here. Only 1 strike. But Jeannie and Robin are going to be plus after game 1. Get to 410 with a strike on the fill ball. $185 puts them at 407. Two fantastic shots so far in the 10th from Liz Johnson. She can get up to 199 with one more. Well, if you're ever going to have an 8-pin, that's the place for it. 198 to kick off doubles and singles for Liz Johnson. 2015 USBC Hall of Fame inductee. All right, just like that, game number 1 in the books. Donna Connors, 191. Carlos Gonzalez, 193. They're at 384. Jeannie Nakarada, 185. Robin Romeo, 222. They're at 407. Carol Norman, 181. Liz Johnson, 198. Puts them at 379. Once again, the number these folks are chasing, 1409. Anthony Simonson and Mark Sleeper Jr. currently holding the top spot in regular doubles to make the top 10. We have a three-way tie right now of 1352. Held by Rich Abood and Jeff Nimke, along with Tony Manna and Dave Axon and Lonnie Wolochek and Justin Romick. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us here. Our first 9 a.m. doubles and singles here on Bowl TV in 2015. So we hope we're catching a few of you in the middle of the workday, taking a quick break from those TPS reports and whatever your boss may be having you do, and enjoying some great bowling here. I'm Aaron Smith. Matt Cannizzaro, currently on the Let's Go Bowling radio show. He'll be back in a few minutes to join us here. It looked like a ball change from Jeannie. Only one strike in the opener, but she was clean for that 185. So that might be the ticket to start getting some hits. And it looks like Robin may need a little bit of glue after that one. Looks like the grip popped out. Stayed on her finger. But it was a great shot, so she's working hard to get that back in place. All right, Robin able to get her fingertip insert glued back in and delivers a strike. Unfazed by the distraction. That's why she's a USBC and PWBA Hall of Famer. It's a Hall of Fame shot there from Liz Johnson. And welcome back to the booth, the left-handed legend himself, Matt Cannizzaro. Tell us about the Let's Go Bowling radio show.
Well, Mr. Smith, it's always a great opportunity, and I'm very grateful for the chance to talk about bowling and talk about our terrific events every chance I get. And that includes a weekly Wednesday morning appearance on the Let's Go Bowling show out of Tampa, St. Pete area. Bill Zubin does a good job with that, and he's actually on the road this week at Bowl Expo, where I know much of the bowling industry is right now. And those guys down in Florida do a terrific job keeping up with the news, and when they're on the road, some great guests. Today we had Dave Taylor. Often Steve Hoskins even checks in, Ashley Galante, so some familiar Florida names. And just appreciate that opportunity. And then, of course, on Sunday afternoons, an appearance on the Bowler Show with David Waswo. So just another chance to talk about things a little bit differently. Top scores for the week, things happening in the host city. And it's just nice to be able to get the word out. I appreciate all the hard work for those guys and what they do for the sport of bowling. And occasionally they request to have Aaron Smith on as well to get a little different perspective on things. So just a couple of long-running relationships there, and hopefully to continue those in the future and keep people talking about the Open and Women's Championships.
Nice trip of the 9 there by Carlos, and I believe my lone Let's Go Bowling radio show appearance this year was due to the FAA not allowing you to take a phone call and do a radio show while in the air. 30,000 feet above. Shame on them. But it was cool to get a chance to talk to Bill and company. It's been a few years since my last appearance on there, so. Of course, David Waswo, a common contributor to the chat room and one of our good buddies. Always good to see him out here at the OC as well.
Well, we actually just talked a little bit on the show about how the media relations landscape has changed, even in just my 11 years here at the Open Championships, how things are so different than they were back in 2005, and the way that we now are able to incorporate this live streaming in our video productions, whether it be a fully produced video with help from Jason Thomas at headquarters, or just a quick hitter uploaded directly to social media. But that's where it's at these days, and folks like to tune in and see what people are doing. They like to see what balls they're throwing, where they're playing. They like to see those familiar faces, and certainly that paints a much better picture than what we can do on paper. And they like being able to go to their news feeds and just see a couple of paragraphs about somebody who bowled well or something interesting. And I think the days of the 500-word news release probably have passed a little bit. There's still a time and a place for that, and while that might be where we have shined in the past, it's time to adapt, and I think we've done that well, and people seem to appreciate it based on some of the threads that show up on our social media and all the great comments and discussions, and so a lot of interaction. I think that's the important part, keep people engaged, and that really helps them become more invested in the events and want to know what's going on. So it definitely has evolved to more than just an online leaderboard.
Don't kid the people at home, Matt. You're selling yourself short with only 500 words. So
sometimes I'd like to try to paint a very vivid picture. How about that?
That you do, sir. But You're the best in the business at it, though, so we appreciate your hard work.
Thank you, sir. I feel like I've tried to teach you the ways, and now you're the new generation, the technological generation. It looks like a pretty good start here for all 6 players in game number 1. And now having taken to the lanes already and having a little different perspective on things, I can tell you that a 181 low game on the pair is a very solid performance. And we've got our group of left-handers off to our right. I'm sure we're keeping an eye on them and how they perform here on day number 2.
Angie Ramirez and Taylor Coggins out to the fast start over there, 4:27 to kick off game number 1. A few kind comments in the chat as well, so much appreciated, folks. All right, looks like another ball change for Jeannie here early on in doubles. Fought her way to a clean 185 in the opener. Just not getting the pins to all fall in the first shot here at the El Paso Convention Center. As we mentioned, we've seen Jeannie strike a lot. Last year, a very cool and an emotional moment as well. Seeing her shoot 300. We were actually live streaming a few pairs away. Matt, I know you got the cell phone video up close, and it was definitely one of the cooler videos we got to capture over the years. A lot of emotion coming from Jeannie, and of course, her and Robin continued strong to take home the doubles title at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. There we go. Both her and Robin had been battling injuries and had just gotten, or just in the process of kind of getting back into the swing of things. And just a cool moment.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Smith, and with everything going on in life and some excitement, some emotions, just very cool for those ladies to prove that they still had some of that magic left. And that was a pretty stacked week that we had in that squad in particular, and some terrific performances. And I would think, not taking anything away from them and all of their experience and accomplishments, but if you looked at that squad and you're going to pick or list the folks who are probably going to excel, I don't know that at this point they would have been at the top of the list, and they really proved something special that day. And clearly it was emotional for them, as you mentioned, and meant a lot to be able to hold on for that title and come back this year as the defending champs.
Nice shot there by Carol Storm and Norman. She made her way into the USBC Hall of Fame in 2001. Six-time professional titleist, including the 1987 U.S. Women's Open. See, good shot there by Donna Connors. The 10-pin does not cooperate. Donna, of course, runs the famed Lucy tournament, which is now part of the PWBA schedule. That'll be taking place at the end of July into early August. The PWBA striking against breast cancer mixed doubles. Definitely one of the most popular events of the year, obviously going towards a good cause. And brings out the best in the sport as well. No, that tournament sells out very early every year. Be taking place at Palace Lanes in Houston, Texas this year. Never a doubt for Jeannie on the 7-pin. I wasn't scared. She stays clean here in doubles.
It's like a talkative crowd in the chat room today. We do appreciate everybody stopping in and sharing your thoughts and comments and questions with us. And Taylor, thank you for the kind words. I saw a note there from our good friend Jeff Carter as well. Watching some ladies bowling here. So Jeff, welcome. You're watching the 9 a.m. doubles and single squad here at the 2015 USBC Open Championships. Matt Cannizzaro alongside the right-handed Aaron Smith. Did that make you the right-hand man?
I guess so, by default. And I am to your right as we are here above the bleachers of the grandstand seating, behind lanes 33 and 34. Two great shots there from Jeannie and Robin. Started at 4:07. See if they can get a nice run here at the end of game 2 and maybe put themselves in position to put together a big finish and make a run at that 14:09. Taylor Coggins and Angie Ramirez thinking about that over on lanes 43 and 44 if you want to follow on X Bowling. 4:27 start for them so far in game 2. Ramirez, spare, strike, spare, and a double. Coggins started with the first 4. He's up looking to make it 5 in a row. Looks like he left a single pin though. Still a strong start. For the lefties.
Aaron, I haven't been able to talk to Liz at all since the Queens. I know she was nursing a knee injury, I believe, at the time of that event. Clearly, that did not stop her from winning her second Queens title. She is certainly one for the physical fitness. And keep it in shape, and especially now with the ladies tour back, traveling the world and the country. Liz, a leader on the PWBA tour now and setting the example for the youngsters coming on out. So I hope that injury is gone and she's back to 100%. It's going to be a long summer, a lot of travel, and I have a feeling they wouldn't have it any other way. You know, we mentioned some of those other top players just coming out of college or just a couple of years out, and Liz Colkin coming to mind. We talked to her a little bit for a recent story, the USBC Insider. Just an insert that we include in Bowler's Journal magazine, and about that tough decision to postpone the real world, so to speak, and chase the dream a little bit now that it exists again. A 3-year commitment from USBC and BPAA to make the women's tour a thing. And of course, there has to be the support both from the industry, the proprietors, and from the players showing up and proving that they want to be out there and have it continue after those 3 years, and I think we're seeing that already. And we'll have a chance to showcase some more women's bowling later in the week as you head off to Reno, Nevada, one of your favorite places.
Got that right.
To see the home stretch of this year's women's championships, and a couple of great live streams planned.
Definitely it's going to be exciting, but we're not done here yet at the Open. We'll be back on Bowl TV tomorrow night. for our second late squad. So 10:30 Eastern, 8:30 Mountain Time. Talented two-hander AJ Rice. Another young lady who's going to be making a name for herself on the PWBA tour pretty soon, Tania Falbo. And their team will hit the lanes here at the El Paso Convention Center. So we'll be excited to see that as we kick off the 10th frame of Game 2. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us and spending some time with us on, what's today, Wednesday? Sure, we'll call it Wednesday. Wednesday morning,
all day.
Morning, afternoon, depending on, I guess it's not afternoon yet on the East Coast, but it's close. It's close. Thanks, Eric. Everyone keeping up in the chat room as well. Derek Stiles checking in. Got a chance to meet him a few weeks back. So, Derek, thanks again for your continued support. Two great shots in the 10th there from Carlos. Finishes it off with the last three for 189. Jeannie gets the mixer. Another clean game for her, so 2 for 2 so far. $195 for Nacarado. Romeo makes a ball change here on the fill ball. Looked pretty good to get her to 202. First got to meet Robin back at the 2009 Women's Championships. Obviously a very familiar name in the sport, but my debut to her was getting to watch her shoot 805 in the team event that year at the WC. She kept it going from there, ended up winning the Classic All Events title. Pretty excited. I got to be there for 2 out of her 5 women's championships titles. Certainly a very storied career over the years for her. So 8:04 after 2 for Robin and Jeannie. Unfortunately, that puts them out of the number.
How about that, coming out with a whole game to go and being mathematically eliminated? That goes to show you just how good of a score that is, and that's not even as high as we've seen in recent years. It's going to be our lowest winning total in a while. And of course, the game changed a little bit back in 2013, going to fresh oil for every squad, and something that happened in the team event back in 2003, and then with doubles and singles. Of course, oiling the lanes every squad allowed us to have 2 different lane conditions, a test of versatility for sure. So no matter how you're doing the team event, a new challenge on day number 2. But with the fresh oil across the board, of course, the lane's a little more challenging to start with. So that has helped bring down the double scores a little bit. This year, the 38 and 39 foot patterns, a little bit lower scoring than we've seen. Some people very excited about that challenge, motivated to prepare or go home and practice and do better for next year. But one of the cool things about the Open Championships is that not only do you get to try again next year in a different city, it's a little bit of a vacation, you also get to face new lane condition challenges. So if you didn't have such a good year, you got 365 days to go home and practice and come back and challenge yourself again, knowing that you'll have to make good shots and pick up your spares. I think that's the most important thing, and for some of us, poor spare shooting makes things a little bit more expensive.
Certainly some. We've seen some great spare shooting from this group so far. It's just that first shot that's not cooperating all that much. With breaks like that for Robin, fantastic shot, leaves the 8. But it's always a combination here at the Open Championships. Obviously, as you mentioned, spare shooting at a premium. You need to make some great shots.
Aaron Smith, I believe you have the giggles, and I think we're looking at the same thing right now. I'm chatting with one of my teammates, Terry Rohr, who was just here this weekend. And of all that he saw and experienced here in El Paso, including a very humbling performance on the lanes, he was most impressed with Aaron and his ability to handle a plate of nachos like a champ. So we did take some of the teammates out and about here in downtown El Paso, took them to a local establishment for some world famous nachos, and Aaron put on an exhibition. So we all have our strengths, and
seeing that you don't let me eat while I'm here, it's I have to take the opportunity when I get it. So, but yes, I don't know why everyone was so impressed by that. It was just
I do not know either, but now that the scores are in the books, I'm guessing that's going to be Terry's #1 memory of the 2015 tournament. Spending time off the lanes with the media relations team here, because he definitely does not want to remember what happened on lanes 29 and 30 here at the El Paso Convention Center.
You're not talking about his doubles set, are you?
I'm just saying, if you're curious how the team that bowled the highest team score in tournament history back in 2014 did, they bowled 13-18 on the way to 3,500 plus last year. But if you want to see how they did here in 2015, feel free to use the individual results feature on bowl.com/openchamp. Just type in the last name, ROHRER, and you'll see that the Open Championships definitely is a roller coaster ride. Often great performances, sometimes a little bit humbling. But we'll let him try again in 2016.
Terry, of course, spent some time with us on the broadcast during Higgy's crew when we had their team event back on the 18th, I believe, so just about a week ago. Of course, as you mentioned, Terry on part of your crossing group, and always great to see him and the guys, and we like to have a little fun too. So it's okay though, because I'm from Indiana as well, so I can get away with that. So. Over on 43 and 44, Angie Ramirez. She's getting all the strikes. Hasn't missed since the third frame. Running, still has a shot 270 out there after a 223 start. Taylor Coggins, after 4 in a row to start, he's slowed down a little bit. Has 3 spares and an open. But from what we can see, at least, they might be the front runners to make a run at the 14:09 on top of the regular doubles standings. We'll keep you up to date as they continue their double set.
Aaron, it's nice to see so many people having positive memories and experiences here in El Paso. Someplace we've never been in 112 years of competition here at the Open Championships. And it's what the bowlers wanted, someplace new. We gave it to them, and looking forward to our next opportunity to come back. Still got a few weeks here. We kicked off this year's event on March 7th, and we'll go for 128 consecutive days, wrapping up on July 12th. So still some great teams to come through. Long way to go, and a lot of time for us to enjoy the many things we haven't yet seen here in the Sun City. We'll have some slower days in July, and perhaps get out and about a little bit. I know that our tournament leaders are probably glad to hear that things are going to slow down, because the scoreboard watch has to be nerve-wracking, no doubt.
And for most of our folks on top of the standings, it's been especially in the regular division, it's already been quite a long wait. Our regular team and team all events leaders both competed in April. Matt McNeil and Ronnie Sparks, I believe, were both in early May. Anthony Simonson and Mark Sleeper Jr. not too far behind that pace.
Well, we've seen great performances early on, hold up for the entire tournament, and a gentleman we saw yesterday, Norm Titus, was in the building. He was the runner-up in singles back in 2006, and he was beat out on the second to last day of the tournament by Wendy McPherson, the first lady to win a regular division title here at the Open Championship. So it can happen anytime. And we hear war stories from over the years. Part of the excitement, certainly more exciting for those who hold on to win, of course.
Definitely one of my favorite stories, and hearing the experiences from Eric Vermilia, who had teamed up with Jeffrey Mersch to take the regular doubles lead in 2000 and was it 10? Back in 2010 with a pretty big number.
Yeah, they held on for quite some time, and they were trying to ride it out. It was their first chance at the lead, and kept an eye on the leaderboards, only to get beaten out by John Cryer and Steve Bone. But that experience definitely helped them in 2013 when they were the team all events leaders. Of course, that turned out a little bit differently, as they were the champions on the last day. So they've seen it both ways, and they're seeing it right now. Junior Team USA Support number 1, the team all events leader here in 2015, 10,064. A big number. They've already got the 1 eagle on the mantle, trying to make it 2 as a group. And Anthony Lacaze trying to make history by becoming the second bowler to win titles in 3 consecutive years. He'll join Les Zykes, who did so in the 1960s, should Junior Team USA Support be able to make it all the way until July 12th. So the excitement, the wait, happening again for Mr. Vermilia and crew. And Mr. McNeil also in position to make history should he be able to claim a 3rd all events title since 2010. A ridiculous run here on the championship lanes. Just doing things that most cannot fathom. And as a left-hander, I am completely baffled by the performances he has turned in. But I talked to him yesterday, actually, Mr. Smith, and he said that he hopes that he doesn't hear from me again until July 12th. Not because we're not friends, but because there's always the potential that I'll be calling with bad news, that perhaps he's no longer in the lead. But 22-26, a big number, as well as 10,064. So it certainly is very possible that I'll be talking to all of those gentlemen in just a couple of weeks.
All right, we had Carlos's spare taken away and cleared off, so we're getting that taken care of. So that was the delay right there. A question in the chat room directed at me. My goodness. When John Gaines was on a little while ago for the Lodge Lanes 2 and Lodge Lanes Kids live stream, something happened with the player on the pair next to him. I mentioned it, but I didn't get to tell the story. But obviously we were down there with the cameras. Matt, you had the day off, with the best day off ever. But yeah, I was down there with the cameras. They were already well into the lead, and then all of a sudden we got down to those last few memorable shots from John Janowitz to take the then record. And after the team celebrated a little bit and some hugs were exchanged between the teammates about the amazing performance, and there was a gentleman who bowled on the pair to the right, I believe, who came over and congratulated John, and he said to him, he's like, if we were, he almost apologized to him, saying, if we were in any way, distracting to you, we didn't want to be, they were doing their own thing and having a good time on the lanes, and I remember John thanking the guy for his support and saying there's no reason for that to apologize. This just isn't our tournament. This is everybody's tournament. It's your tournament as much as mine. You're out here to have a good time. We're out here to have a good time, and that was just a very cool moment in such a big situation for obviously those guys, and they ended up holding on to the title with that 35-38 score. But certainly Mr. Gaines, a USBC Hall of Famer now, and someone who probably appreciates this tournament just as much as everybody, but definitely knows this is the tournament for every USBC member, and that's one of the cool things about it. Whether you're a youngster like Anthony Simonson just coming up, 18 years young, or Sylvester Thiel making his 70th appearance this year at the young age of 92. There's something about this tournament for everybody, and that's one thing to love about this event.
You mean besides us?
Besides us, yes. Over on 43 and 44, Andrew Ramirez finishes with 248. Taylor Coggins 200 on the nose, so they're at 875.
A little bit of room, but not much.
So 534, the number for them to get a share of the lead.
Well, things certainly clicking for them over there. Again, Angie, one of those players headed for the PWBA Tour and trying to get in physical and mental shape for that, I'm sure.
Great shot from Carlos for his first strike here in game number 3. Want to get a look at the pattern these bowlers are competing on for doubles and singles, the 39-foot pattern. Be sure to visit bowl.com/openchamp. Click on information and find the link to lane conditions for more information. A lot of great stuff can be found about this tournament on there. While we have the opportunity, a big thanks goes out to our gold industry partners, Columbia 300, Hammer, Kegel, and Storm, for their continued support of USBC championship events. Matt, since I see that our buddy Chris Hester checked in, who's getting the burger this year?
Well, after last year's performance, I felt I bowled well, and he bowled much, much better. And this year we went double or nothing. And the good news is that he is feeling healthy and energetic and back in top bowling form. The bad news is, I believe it was the worst performance of his career. So our double or nothing means that we both got to go home hungry. Because I did escape with the victory here in 2015. Just a little bit proud of that, being a top left-hander like that. It's the small victories, of course. That and being the top of the PR pyramid for one more year.
Yeah, Jason Overstreet was enjoying the ride there through at least the first 5 games, and then the real Matt Cannizzaro finally decided to show up and start striking. Nearly averaging 225 his last 4 games. Superstar. He even got me out of the office on a front 7 call, which we discussed yesterday, but I will defend that maneuver until the end of time. Because you know where I was in 2008? Working at a car wash in Highland, Indiana. So
exactly.
So I did not know the rules. It's not going to stop me next time either.
Well, I certainly hope there is a next time. I do believe something clicked for me as well, and it just took a minute to figure it all out there at the end of doubles, and things went nicely, and would have liked to have that happen 2 games sooner, but just like everybody else, I'll get to try again next year and try to get that career average up a little bit.
All right, we're in the home stretch of game number 3. And no, Mr. Hester, no more red strikes. Mr. Cannizzaro was disappointed with that. It's got to be true because it was on Twitter, so.
That is a Reno-only feature. A little bit different scoring and display system there. So just have to do it again at the one-of-a-kind National Bowling Stadium. Brand new lanes installed this year for the USBC Women's Championships and the USBC Mixed. So when the Open Championships returns in 2016, be a little bit different feel as a ongoing $15 million renovation happening to the National Bowling Stadium, and little things happening there over the next few years. And that building opened in 1995, so this is the 20th anniversary of the Taj Mahal of 10 Pins, and we'll head back that way. If you haven't registered yet for 2016, you can do so at bowl.com/openchamp. And if you bowl in 2016, all team captains will have the opportunity to get the same dates and times for 2017 when we head to the South Point Bowling Plaza in Las Vegas. You'll get a 60-day grace period to lock those times in. So a definite benefit of joining us in the biggest little city next year.
Chris Hester ready for Reno. Juicy's was pretty good. I'll give him that. That was a solid recommendation. I'm still disappointed your boy Steve Brinkman has not had an awful yet. That's okay. There'll be time next year. Since we're already talking about food, Mr. Canizaro, best burger in El Paso, go.
I don't know that I've experienced the plethora of burger opportunities here. I hear that Roscoe's is the place to go, but they're only open for lunch. So getting out of here to get across town is, the opportunity has escaped me, but they tell me that's the number one spot. Of course, the burgers and fries just outside the strike zone, right in front of the convention center, are solid. But perhaps that can be a slow day adventure for us, as there are many other delicious treats to be had in this town, and every day somebody's asking where to go and what to try, and it's certainly enough to keep you busy and well fed during your 3.5 to 4 days here. But you never know, perhaps some of those delectable treats will show up. You can always hope, just like we talked about last night. Emil Williams Jr. mentioned something back in 2011, and it appeared on his desk by the end of the broadcast. So for those local folks out there listening, if a couple of Roscoe's Burgers appeared in the office after this live stream, we would not be mad at you.
I haven't got a chance to experience Roscoe's yet, but I will vouch for the burger at Block Table and Tap. It's not bad.
A lot of small local establishments, mom and pop places, a lot of tradition. Chico's Tacos is one that the locals recommend. They say, get you 2 singles and fries. It doesn't make any sense to those not from El Paso, but it's delicious when it arrives. And then, of course, some of our co-workers frequent the L&J Cafe, Kiki's, Cattleman's, of course, we mentioned that quite a bit. Carlos and Mickey's, if you're in the mood for the Cadillac of margaritas. Of course, rumored to have been invented here in El Paso. High five to that guy.
High five to Jeannie Nacarado for the double there. Great shot.
And a lot of local downtown places as well. You mentioned the Tap earlier for some nachos. Sparrows for a quick slice of pizza and some beer. Just across the street from the convention center.
A few blocks away, Leo's. Solid choice. Craft and Social.
The Pint and Peanut. Vegetarian options downtown. A lot of great choices, and walking distance along with, just make a day of it. Hit a museum or two, get some lunch, watch some bowling.
That sounds like a great plan. I'm going to take the rest of the day off after this and take care of that. Good recommendation, Matt.
Well, not if Liz Johnson has anything to say about it. She's getting ready for her 10th frame here of doubles.
Yeah, she's starting to heat up here.
And Liz has a small place in the tournament record books. The 3rd highest all events total by a woman at the Open Championships, 21-17 back in 2006. That was a great year for the ladies. First 300 that year went to Jeanette Pajzinski. And she rolled 789 in singles, I believe, held the top spot for a little bit. And then, of course, Liz Johnson shooting 21-17, big number. Wendy McPherson winning singles with 8-12. And the other 2 individuals here, familiar names. Dee Dee Davidson, 21-18 at the National Bowling Stadium in 2007. And then, of course, in a record year, 2009, Brenda Padilla struggled in the team event and went crazy in doubles and singles. Took home the regular doubles title with her now husband, Stephen Padilla, 1566, highest double score in tournament history. And she went on and shot 300 and 785 in singles for a 21-32 all events effort. Holy cow.
But you forgot one bowler out of all that. Back in 2006. Possibly the first lady to bowl at 800 on the championship lanes.
Not possibly. Definitely. Crystal Wilson. Shot 816 in the team event. So made history. That was a great year. Some big scores and a lot of excitement in one of my favorite host cities. But any day you can wake up and hear the ocean and go to the beach on your day off. It was pretty spectacular. We've had an opportunity to see a lot of great places. Corpus Christi that year, up in the top 3 with El Paso and Reno. So definitely a perk to the job here, is getting to travel the country, see new places, revisit the old ones.
Tough grind here in doubles for Jeannie Nacarado. She's going to have one open and be in the 560s. But her and Robin are going to eclipse the 1200 mark, so they're going to be plus. .648 for Romeo, 566 for Jeannie Nacarado. That'll put him at 12-14.
Solid cash number. And if you folks at home are curious about what it's going to take to get a piece of the pie here in 2015, you can find all the details at bowl.com/openchamp. Load of cash numbers, year-long bracket products standings, Bowler's Journal standings, and much more. And those numbers updated the 1st and 15th of every month, so we're getting ready to do one in about a week. But you can get on there and see the estimates through June 15th, as well as check out individual scores and leaderboards. A lot of great information, some terrific stories of success and perseverance there on bowl.com. And of course, remember to find us on social media. That's the cool thing to do now. A lot of great information and news that's not quite news shared on the official Open and Women's Championships Facebook page, as well as on our personal accounts. You can find me on Facebook, Matt Canizaro, USBC, and on Twitter, at USBC Matt and at USBC Aaron. And man, if you think we are witty and informative on the live stream, you could have that news feed 24/7. So remember to check it out. Now doubles is concluded. The final rundown: Connors and Gonzalez 1085, Nacarado and Romeo 1214, Liz Johnson and Carol Norman 1193. So we'll wait just a minute and we'll flip over to singles, and 3 more games of some of the best ladies you've ever seen compete in the sport of bowling coming right up.
So don't go anywhere.
Unless you're going to buy us lunch, and then go ahead.
The Matt Canizaro Variety Hour coming back shortly.
looks like Donna Connors is going to bid adieu to lanes 33 and 34. Gonna sit out singles, perhaps?
Looks like she has a knee brace on there, so maybe some issues there, but hopefully everything's all right. She's going to hang around and cheer on her teammates, though. All right, the number on top of regular singles, 793. Former Team USA member Ronnie Sparks Jr. holding that number down. We've seen a few folks make some runs at the number, but eventually falling short. Of course, one of the cool stories about Ronnie's run here back when the Women's Championships was in town in 2010. It took a few days off to welcome the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships to the Convention Center setting for the first time as well. And Ronnie was a part of the Wichita State men's team that ended up taking the title home over my boys at Calumet, led by head coach Mike Kubacki. You should meet him sometime.
I heard he's a nice guy. Didn't I meet one of his players recently?
You did. That's a fact. Ryan Burks.
Ryan Burks almost was my doubles partner, but he lucked out and didn't have to bowl with me after all. But we were teammates here at the 2015 Open Championships. And we're back to Ronnie Sparks. I have a feeling he likes El Paso. Should he hold on to win that title?
I would say so.
A very memorable and profitable couple of trips to Sun City.
Question in the chat room from Dana. Hasn't bowled since 2012 in Baton Rouge, and that was actually the last year that that competitors did not swap lanes for doubles and singles. Now stay on the same pair for all 6 games, and it started in 2013 along with a fresh oil for every squad and a different pattern as well for team and doubles and singles. So once again, yesterday team event was 38 feet. Today for doubles and singles 39 feet with a bit more volume as well. Go to bowl.com/openchamp, click on information to get a look at those patterns. But yes, so now even though folks have to battle the fresh here in doubles and singles, they get the chance to develop the pattern in the way they best see fit. Getting to stay on it and don't necessarily have to worry about what they're switching to in singles.
I'd say we definitely leveled the playing field a little bit in the last couple of years, and it's a great opportunity. Of course, in the past, potentially a little bit luck of the draw who you follow, but now it's all on you.
Looks like on 43 and 44, Angie Ramirez and Taylor Coggins will not be able to get to the 1409 number. They are just about ready for the 8th frame of Game 3, so we'll keep you updated as they finish up. Early double for Romeo after the split in the first frame. Talked a lot about the PWBA coming back today, and mentioned it last night as well, but another fresh face on the tour, and a name that some folks may not know just yet, but are probably going to pretty soon. Amanda Green also bowling on the squad out of Romney, West Virginia. She's bowling on 27 and 28. They just started singles as well. Very talented collegiate player and former Junior Team USA member. Looking to become a household name. Much the way Jeannie, Robin, Carol, and Liz have become from their time on the tour. And Jeannie is well overdue for about the last 40 strikes here. She's done it before. I know there's not enough frames yet, but her spare shooting has been fantastic today. Just one open so far, but strikes have not been there. So they're overdue to come in bunches here. Actually, all these bowlers could use a few hits. A lot of great spare shooting, but all 10 pins not cooperating here on 33 and 34 so far. Have to agree with Taylor in the chat room as well. Definitely a lot of excitement going on in the junior ranks. Junior Team USA, the likes of Cameron Doyle, Wesley Lowe Jr., and others. Certainly making their way, taking the right steps into becoming the future of the sport. Making their name at Junior Gold on Junior Team USA. Be heading up to the collegiate ranks very soon. And before you know it, the next stage will be right here at the Open Championships. Of course, the Junior Gold Championships will be coming up less than a month in the Chicagoland area, DuPage County to be specific. I'll head there right after we finish up here in El Paso to meet up with Lucas Wiseman and bringing in Craig Elliott from Michigan Bowler to have 3 live streams going, so we can showcase each of the age divisions. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Once again, that'll be taking place middle of July. And to Chadwick in the chat. There has not been a mention of the Hoppy Monk just yet, but would certainly recommend for a great variety of craft beers. Had the opportunity to take a few folks there throughout the year, and no one's been disappointed yet. Certainly, as we mentioned, a lot of great, cool, small little places all across town, whether you're staying downtown over on the west side, up by UTEP, or on the east side by the airport. You can learn more by visiting visitelpaso.com. They even made an app that you can download for your smartphone to kind of let you know what's going on in town. If you want to plan a full day in El Paso, some suggestions on what to do. Half day, just a few hours. But yes, Hoppy Monk has the Aaron Smith stamp of approval. Great shot by Liz Johnson there in the 6th frame. Once again, the 2015 USBC Queens champion. Talked about earlier getting to meet Robin Romeo for the first time in 2009 after she fired an 805 series in the team event at the Women's Championships on her way to the All Events lead and eventually the All Events crown. Got a chance to talk with Liz Johnson as well, as she, I believe, took over the lead in singles for just a minute before Michelle Feldman rolled the then highest set in Women's Championships history, 8-16. That was matched the following year by Jody Wessner right here at the El Paso Convention Center. But Liz also captured the one title that had kind of been missing from her resume, the Queens that year, and a very cool build-out at the arena next door. They actually had basically the entire qualifying and match play at the National Bowling Stadium, and then built out 4 custom lanes where the Reno Bighorns play right next door. I can't think of the name of that facility right now.
The Reno Event Center?
The Reno Event Center. Well, that's simple enough. I should remember that. But it was fun getting to see Liz take home that title.
And you were there just for fun that day.
I was there just for fun. They
got to take it in as a bowling fan.
That was true. That was my first Queens I got to watch in person. I've been lucky enough to get to see quite a few more over the past few years, so definitely one of my favorite events. I was jealous that you got to go this year, but you did a fantastic job, so it was a lot of fun watching Extra Frame and reading the stories each and every day, keeping tabs on some of my favorite players. And Over on 43 and 44, looks like Angie Ramirez and Taylor Coggins have just finished up their doubles. They got off to a strong start, a little slower pace here in game 3. It looks like 12:55 their final tally, but still a very nice number. Question in the chat room about Donna Connors. We are not 100% sure whether or not it was an injury or not. But she did drop out of the singles portion after finishing doubles with 192 and 539. So hopefully, if it was an injury, nothing too serious. She's still down there rooting on her teammates. Jeannie gets her first strike of singles. As I said, she's due for a lot in a row, so hopefully this is the start of about 15, 16 in a row, maybe more.
We've seen it happen, and it'd be great to see it happen here on Bolt TV. A lot of great moments over the years, and a little bit slower pace here in 2015, but we did get a chance to see our Team All Events leaders, Junior Team USA Support 1, live on Bolt TV Easter weekend. You can check that out in the archives. Also a great video recap of Matt McNeil's surge into the lead of all events. We also saw Rob Gottschall and his teammates step up in the 10th frame to sneak into the lead in regular team, and now patiently waiting for the opportunity to call themselves Eagle winners. Once again, all of these ladies, top competitors a few years back. I'm sure you can find some terrific videos of them back in the day on YouTube. So they don't look that much different, and still got the top form and throwing great shots. I remember in 2011, the year that wasn't for Aaron Smith, Carol Norman actually shot 298 at the USBC Women's Championships in Syracuse.
I remember that, even though I wasn't there.
Got to see that happen, and all part of Queens Week when I was in town for that.
I just wanted to show you how much you would miss me when I was gone. That's all I did.
I got to handle business travel a little bit. See a part of the country I hadn't seen in a very long time. I'd say that year worked out a little better for me than it did for you, sir. But glad to have you back. Glad you came to your senses and realized that this is the place to be.
I'm here to help, that's all. All right, big move left there by Carlos. Gets him a strike to kick off the 10th.
You're here to help. By help, what do you mean? Not moving tables, not carrying the gear down the stairs.
As we've mentioned many times, we know our roles. I get to do math and put it all together, and you are the brawn of the booth.
It's fair enough. It's good teamwork.
It's worked so far, so I'm just saying it's
So it's a pretty smooth operation we have here. About 30 broadcasts this year from the Open and Women's Championships. The schedule can be found bowl.com/openchamp. Go to the information tab and a live stream link listed at the bottom, or bowl.com/livestream to see the complete live stream schedule for USBC. Our next broadcast tomorrow night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. 8:30 team squad here in El Paso. Tania Falbo, collegiate champion, and lefty two-hander AJ Rice. So looking forward to seeing some new faces here on Bowl TV. And then Aaron Smith will pack up the gear and take the show on the road to Reno for a couple of broadcasts from the final days of the Women's Championships. Then we'll hit the road for some other events and get Lucas Wiseman in the mix a little bit. Try to show him the way, how the team operates. And we'll have a ton of great coverage in the coming weeks, both here on Bowl TV and Extra Frame as the PWBA Tour gets underway.
question in the chat. Are you guys scrunched up behind the bleachers? Well, yes. Yes, we are. We make it work, however.
We're in the very top row of the bleachers here. It's where the tripods are for the photo department. If you order a DVD of your events, this is where they shoot from. So we bring up some skinny tables and only eat one meal the day before to be able to sit up here and bring this to you live. Right now we're behind lanes 33 and 34, just to the right of center aisle.
All right, nice opening game here. Singles for Carol Norman, 223. She's going to lead the way on our feature pair. Liz Johnson can still get to 212. As we are moving right along here. at the 9 a.m. doubles and singles event. Have a 1 p.m. or another doubles and singles event coming up next at 1 p.m. Not here on Bull TV though, so this is the only broadcast of the day. Followed by a 5 p.m. team event, and we have rotating doubles and singles at 8:30. So yesterday was a team event for the late squad, so that means tonight will be doubles and singles. And then of course Thursday, we've already talked about it, an 8:30 team event. Which I believe we purposely led into so brilliant, you know, I'm not even going to try to mess that word up anymore. But we have the all lefty group, and then we're going to have a different kind of lefty bowling tomorrow night, a two-hander. We didn't get to see that in our all lefty group last night, and then obviously we're getting to watch some of the best ladies to ever lace up bowling shoes right now on 33 and 34, and we get to see one of the best in the next generation as well in Tania Falbo. AJ Rice is the two-hander, so it all transitions. I'm sure that's what we were thinking when we came up with it, or that's what we'll tell people now.
Well, yeah, we look brilliant. That's hard to do. Hard to make us look smart.
Every once in a while. Occasionally, if we're lucky, we'll get a laugh or two. Once again, this is Aaron Smith alongside Matt Cannizzaro here at the El Paso Convention Center. Thank you for joining us here live on Bull TV. Nearly 300 strong joining us right now. We appreciate you taking some time out of your Wednesday morning to join us here. I really don't know of any better place to be than watching Bull TV on a Wednesday morning in the Mountain Time Zone.
Well, this is our first 9 a.m. broadcast of the year. Wednesday is always exciting. Get to do the Let's Go Bowling show first thing in the morning and then get to it. Sometimes, Aaron Smith, that is your day off. It's also league night. League is over. We've been paid. We are now rich. Question is...
Rich in memories.
Question is, what would you be doing right now? Because you wouldn't normally be here. And what will you be doing instead of league bowling on this Wednesday Eve?
Generally, the one or two times you give me a day off for the course of the year, I like to go out and enjoy the best that El Paso has to offer. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a morning person. This was a little rough getting up a little bit earlier than I'm used to, but for Bull TV, we make it work. But generally, maybe go out and have a nice lunch at one of my favorite establishments around town. We've already talked about a few of those, but maybe whatever I'm feeling the mood for, go out, maybe run a few errands, get some stuff done. As we do become members of the community, it's like we're members of Sun City ourselves.
So you're a bit of a creature of habit, however. You find your favorite places, and I dare you to try something new.
All right, well, if you ever give me a day off again, I will gladly do that.
I mean, outside of the 6 you already had in June, and the vacation you have coming up to Reno in the next couple of days.
Vacation. The only person who will be working harder than me is the Kegel Flex machine. But then, yes, this evening I have some friends from the Dallas-Fort Worth area coming to town. getting ready for their Open Championships experience. So might be able to catch up with them for a little bit. Those are my plans.
Sounds all right, sir. Anything we can do to help our guests have a positive experience here in El Paso. I feel we've learned enough in our time here. Got some terrific tour guides along the way. The Destination El Paso folks from day one, very welcoming and helpful, not only to us but all the other bowlers. I know it's going to be a crazy weekend here with Street Fest coming up, some great concerts and a little bit of congestion downtown, some trouble, some detours getting to the convention center. So if you are headed this way, please check out bowl.com for details and a map of how things are going to be looking over the weekend. Or let Aaron know where you're going to be staying, and until he leaves for Reno, he'll be glad to pick you up and take you to the convention center.
As long as I get to expense all the gas reports to Matt Cannizzaro. But yes, for those of you coming to town soon, Street Fest, always an exciting time. A lot of things to do here in the downtown area. It gets a little crazy, but it's definitely a good time though. Carlos sending the messenger there for striking the fourth. Sure Matt Cannizzaro will be on the streets rocking out to the likes of Hailstorm and Rob Zombie and Weezer this upcoming weekend, so
you know it. All we gotta do is open one of the side doors by the office and we get a free air-conditioned concert.
That's true. We are that close to the festivities. Also seen a few folks mention it. We are also that close to the El Paso Chihuahuas, AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres. Brand new in 2014. So they are in the middle of their season. Their coach already called up to the majors. So a lot of excitement here in Sun City. Has been a fantastic host. Just going around town. If you happen to be wearing a USBC shirt, you'd be surprised how many folks recognize the logo and are more than happy to give you a few hints of cool things to do and some of the cool places to go here in El Paso. It's definitely been a cool experience for myself, even being back for a second time here after the Women's Championships in 2010. I've been able to explore a lot more and find a lot of great places that just didn't know about in 2010. So definitely a memorable tournament experience. Looks like that one got away from Carroll there. They're starting with their front four.
So we're at the halfway point of game number 2 of singles. There's good scores up on the custom scoreboard there, thanks to Daktronics, the world's largest mobile scoreboard. A great investment. Made its debut in 2009 in Las Vegas. A near record year that year, 17,200 teams. We'll be headed back to Sin City in 2017 for the Open Championships, the WC Women's Championships, and USBC Mixed will be contested there. South Point Bowling Plaza in 2016. Registration open for the Women's Championships and next year's OC in Reno. So make sure to check out bowl.com for details. And there's still time to register for this year's event in El Paso if you haven't come our way. We're going to wrap things up on July 12th, but feel free to put together a team if you haven't bowled. Don't want you to miss out on a terrific host city. Alright, right now you're watching game 2 of singles here, 9 a.m. doubles and singles squad. 4 Hall of Famers on this pair. It's not often we get to see this type of experience and success all together. Jeannie Nacarado on lane 34. Started with 175. Last year she rolled a 300 game at the Women's Championships. Captured the Diamond Doubles title with Robin Romeo. See Romeo in just a minute on lane 33. Just won her second consecutive Senior Queens title. Looking forward to a few stops on the upcoming PWBA tour. Do appreciate everybody stopping by. This is Matt Canizaro. Aaron Smith stepped out. He'll be right back. Live coverage of the 2015 Open Championships. We'll be back on the air tomorrow night for the 8:30 p.m. team event. Tania Falbo and AJ Rice. Growing crowd online, about 300 folks giving us a part of their lunch hour. Thank you. If you missed any of today's broadcast, of course, you can go back later on today and watch it in the archives on Bowl TV. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and you won't miss another broadcast for forever and ever.
All right, we're in the foundation frame in game 2. We're moving right along here on Bowl TV. Carol Norman leading the way here in singles so far. Great shot to set up the 10th by Liz Johnson. Matt, you mentioned a little bit earlier, Liz preparing for the Pan Am Games coming up, I believe, towards the end of July. Definitely a big event for Team USA in general.
Well, currently it is as close to the Olympics as bowling can get. That possibly going to change in 2020. We will see. But Liz headed to Toronto, and our fearless leader, Terry Bigham, will be the man at the typewriter. Some of those events a little bit different as far as live streaming and all the rules and regulations, and so Terry will be there to bring you live coverage on bowl.com, daily recaps.
It's got to be tough to get a typewriter through the 50-pound weight limit and through customs and all that stuff. But he's an experienced professional because he's been doing this for probably about 72 years now. So he's
and he always reminds us when we talk to him about coming to see the world's largest participatory sporting event here at the Open Championships. He says, Matt, you don't think I've seen sporting events before? I've been to the Olympics. I've covered all of them. I know what's going on. So Terry Bigham taking his show on the road in July to the Pan Am Games in Toronto. Hopefully they'll let him back in the country when it's all over, so that we can all reconvene in Arlington. And he can buy us lunch.
And drive, too.
And drive. He's got a new ride. Been saving his allowance. So that excuse out the window now.
All right, Jeannie finally puts a few strikes together, gets a few hits, on her way to 216, highest game of the day so far. I think she only has 2 opens so far, but this has not been able to get the strikes to cooperate. I just don't know if the good folks in Canada are going to give us Terry Bigham back afterwards. He's going to do such a good job out there that they'll want him to move up north. Apin nearly stands up for a second time in a row. Liz wills it down. Great performance so far in singles for Carol Norman, 223 and 246. She's making the turn at 469. Can still make it into the top 10. She'll need to create a little bit of extra excitement here on Bowl TV. She'll need the front 11 to do that. I believe 762 currently the number to sneak into the top 10 of regular singles. We just saw Matt Ogle of Louisville, Kentucky make his way into a tie for that spot. Had the front 10 his last game of singles before a 7 count on his second shot. So he did not have the opportunity to become the 7th bowler of the 2015 event to roll a perfect game. But maybe we have some excitement in store here, our last game of Bowl TV.
Alright, so things winding down. 5 games already done. And one more exciting opportunity here for the best in the business.
Nice shot by Carlos to kick off game 3. Kicking the 10 out of there. Once again, a big thanks to everyone for joining us here on a Wednesday morning in El Paso, Texas.
Gotta thank the gold partners too, Mr. Smith. Very important to this whole operation.
Of course, the gold industry partners, Columbia 300, Hammer, Kegel, and Storm. For those of you who have been to the venue, you probably have seen those all around. A big thanks to their continued support of all the USBC Championship events. Definitely a frustrating day for Jeannie Nacarado, the USBC and PWBA Hall of Famer. Making a lot of good shots today and just not catching the hits. She's bowled much better than her scores are reflecting right now. That's the way for a bunch of the folks on this pair. Unfortunately, hits just not coming here in the morning in El Paso. Carol Norman getting a few of them back here in the singles, though. Strong start, 223, 246, front three to start our final game. There's something we're used to seeing Liz Johnson do. 10 in the pit. Definitely a lot of great discussion going on in the chat room about the PWBA of the past and talking about a lot of the former stars. Keeping it in the left-handed theme that we saw yesterday. Tish Johnson, Alita Sill, Dana Miller-Mackey, Kara Honeychurch. Great mention of Ashley Rucker, another up-and-comer. Collegiate standout at Arkansas State. Former Junior Team USA member.
Game 3 going well so far for Carol Norman and Liz Johnson. Liz trying to make it 3 in a row here. Not a bad start in singles for her, 212, 226. Arrow bowling very well, 223, 246.
Trips the 4 for 3 in a row. Definitely an exciting time for women's bowling. Once again, a lot of great discussion in the chat room. Talking about the great past of the PWBA and, of course, the exciting future. I've mentioned it already, but the new PWBA Tour kicked off with the Queens back in May. We saw Liz Johnson take home that title, her second Queens victory. She'll be up on 34 in just a second. And the standard tour events start up again in early July in Sacramento. If you haven't had a chance to check out PWBA.com, there we go, just yet, be sure to check that out. A lot of great information there. Great shot there by Liz. Ton of player bios on there. So you get to see some of the familiar names you'll see on a weekly basis.
There's a terrible way to end that run for Carol Norman.
I think she was a little surprised by that one too. I'm not sure if that was 8-10 bad off her hand, but.
Well, Mr. Smith, you are very familiar with this outcome. Could just be bad luck, or just missing somewhere at the bottom of the swing, perhaps.
Certainly could be, but
looked like a good shot. Just a terrible break for Carol, but still a nice single set unfolding. And I just see a question in the chat room about the PWBA stop in Sacramento. Originally capped at 64 entries, but they opened it up for 16 more to allow 80 total, not 80 additional spots. So I know there's a waiting list for that event, and if you plan on bowling some of the other stops, definitely get your money in now so you don't get left out.
obviously a lot of new memories are going to be coming up with the new tour starting up. And Mr. Canzar, you've got the opportunity to cover a lot of women's events. Even though the tour wasn't going on, there was obviously the Queens, U.S. Women's Open, the BPWA All-Star last year, and I forget the event in the mall.
It was the Women's Challenge back in 2006. Challenge. I feel like that was kind of my breakout performance as, in the PR department. A great opportunity from Tom Clark to kind of see that project from start to finish. And it was the first time that the event, well, first was held in a shopping mall in Las Vegas, the Fashion Show Mall. One lane installed right down the middle of the mall concourse there. 16 players chosen to compete in that event, handpicked. They came out, they had makeovers, and then they bowled what ended up being 5 TV shows. And it was 4-person brackets, obviously one bracket on each TV show, and then the 4 winners met in the final TV show, and it was very cool. And we covered that event. I feel like that was kind of the start of what we see now with all the TV shows taped at once, and then covering it as it's happening on TV. So we were there, and then we were able to do media kits for each different TV show to the hometown media and get a lot of good national and hometown coverage for those 16 players, knowing that they would be appearing on ESPN. And we even went so far as to come up with a Women's Challenge calendar that was sent to all member centers for BPAA and sold online and sold to bowling fans. So a very cool souvenir there, and hopefully we'll have some equally opportunities for the PWBA Tour and all of those events and pro-ams, and give the fans really a chance to interact and be involved and come out and see their favorite players and follow them online and on Extra Frame. And that is correct. The winner of that event, Cara Honeychurch. And the last time we've seen her bowl, went back to Australia doing the family thing, I believe.
She was pretty good.
She's all right for a lefty. Back half of our final game underway here at the El Paso Convention Center. You're watching live coverage of the 2015 USBC Open Championships. Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith. Some good scores. Looking across the boards here, but does not appear that we're going to have a new leader. As some lanes already getting finished here.
Great shot from Liz Johnson in the 7th frame. But Mr. Canizaro, we kind of got off track to where I was going with that, but you gave us a lot of great information about the event in Las Vegas. But being an experienced traveler here and getting to cover so many women's events just outside of the Women's Challenge in Vegas, list off another favorite memory in the past since 2005 as far as one of the major events women's bowling that you can recall you've gotten to see quite a bit, and just wonder if there are any favorites that stick out.
I'm gonna have to think about that one for a couple of minutes here. Definitely on the spot a little bit. Just some of those opportunities, you can certainly see the appreciation for the women to be able to compete and have that stage. You know, the U.S. Women's Open in 2007, 2008, a lot of great players, and that was kind of the start of the PBA Women's Series. Gave a lot of ladies a chance to come out. Again, went with the 5 TV show format, so a lot of TV exposure. I think one of the most memorable championship matches was Kim Kearney against Trisha Reed, and Kim doesn't bowl all that much and really proved that she still had some fire too. Then of course in 2009, watching Tammy Turner. She has battled injuries throughout her career and kind of came out of nowhere to win that event, so that was cool to see that. Just some of the names you get to watch growing up, and I think the best part about all those events is getting to meet and become friends with all of those great players. You saw them on ESPN for many, many years, and you know, then to be able to sit there and chat in person and, you know, get an occasional phone call or birthday card. Very cool. So, I don't know. I don't know that any one moment stands out, but just being able to see them all compete and have that opportunity certainly is very special, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I always said that if the PWBA Tour came back, I would love to be their media relations guy. I just think they appreciate the coverage, and they're so nice to sit down and talk to, and willing to do anything to help get the word out about bowling and their events. I think a couple of the ones that were really cool I actually didn't get to go to at all. U.S. Women's Open Final at Cowboy Stadium. Leanne Hulsenberg winning that title. I imagine that was pretty special. And then the U.S. Women's Open in downtown Reno, outside the Dust Bowl. The idea was great. The scenery terrific under the arch in Reno. But anybody who's walked down Virginia Street knows that's a bit of a wind tunnel. And it was a little bit of a mess, but the ladies really stepped up on that show, and they did what they had to do to compete and put on a good show, and I think if anything, it's a great memory, and I think that week the best bowler definitely did win after all.
That's I had the opportunity to be there for that whole event. I got to cover qualifying and match play. Then Lucas Wiseman took over for the TV show. So I just got to watch the show as a fan, and that was, obviously getting to kind of go up there afterwards and look at the lanes and everything. It was definitely something unique that you'd never get to see before. But probably one of my favorite memories from definitely that tournament was I can't remember how impressed I was with Kelly Kulick finding new ways to answer the same questions each and every day, because she just led after every day and the next day and the next day, and so it was like after every squad she got used to seeing me. She'd be like, all right, what do you got today? I'm like, let's see, how can I ask this question differently now?
I feel like I had the same conversation with her at the Queens in May, and at the tougher they get, and the U.S. Open, of course, the most challenging conditions around, it seems most of the time it's either her or Liz that I'm talking to.
But I definitely appreciated how cool she was, and she obviously worked with us, and now she's the spokesperson for the PWBA, and always great to see Kelly. We got to see her make a run at the regular doubles lead when she was out here for the USBC Open Championships not too long ago, and definitely a great ambassador for the sport.
Well, when we were in Green Bay in May, I got to have an early wake-up call. Went to go pick up Kelly. We did a TV station, in-station interview to talk about the Queens and the new PWBA tour, and definitely a great spokesperson, the right person, and she'll be out there at each event in front of the cameras talking about the tour and her career now that she has her dream back. So looking forward to that. And now we're looking forward to the final shots here of this doubles and single squad. Of course, we talked a lot about ladies bowling, and why not? We've got 4 Hall of Famers on this pair of lanes. Carol Norman, Robin Romeo, Liz Johnson, and Jeannie Nacarado. So what better way to spend the last few hours than celebrating their careers and knowing that we're going to see them all again on the lanes and the next generation. But Carol Norman having a terrific singles series here, 223, 246, and now stepping up in the 10th here. Her only blemish here in game 3, an 8-10 after the front 4, and she rings the 10-pin there in the 10th frame. Liz Johnson bowling well too, 212, 226. Aaron will have the final tallies for you as soon as they are done. So Carol about to throw her final shot here in 2015. Liz Johnson going to be the one to wrap things up. The 2015 USBC Hall of Fame inductee. Her career far from over, however, as she was inducted and then came right back to win the USBC Queens this year. And an 8-10 for Liz in the 10th. So another great shot, terrible break. So the other half of their group will be coming up on the 1 p.m. squad. Rick Manier, and company. They had a nice team event yesterday, big finish. But all scores in the books. Liz Johnson finished with 224 here. 693 for Carol Norman. That is a terrific performance on a very tough lane condition here in El Paso.
All right, a quick rundown of the scores. Leading the way for this group overall and in singles. Carol Norman with the big 693 to finish, gets her to 1869. Liz Johnson not too far away, 1867. Robin Romeo, 1711. Carlos Gonzalez, 1659. And Jeannie Nacarado, 1647. Definitely some tough breaks along the way here on 33 and 34 today. These ladies and Carlos threw the ball pretty well. Just didn't get the hits along the way, but that happens out here on the tough environment. So, but still a great show and a great chance to see some of the best to ever lace up. Take it away, Mr. Canizaro.
All right, folks. Well, we appreciate you joining us on this run of 3 consecutive days of live coverage here on Bolt TV. Yesterday, we saw the all-lefty crew get it done in the team event. Nice performance for them today. Some of the best ladies ever. Tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 local squad time. Collegiate standout, Tania Falbo, and lefty two-hander. Haven't seen one of those on Bowl TV. AJ Rice. So looking forward to that broadcast. If you missed any of today's, you can check it out in the archives. Should be uploaded very soon, as well as all the other coverage from the El Paso Convention Center this year at the 2015 USBC Open. But that's the news for now, folks. We'll see you on the lanes.